Good afternoon. You're watching This Is Now. First at noon today, Honolulu police are investigating a stabbing in the Pauoa area.
Yeah, we have some new video just into our newsroom. Take a look. It happened at around 10 a.m. near the Shell gas station at Pacific Heights and Pauoa roads. Officials say a man in his late 30s was stabbed in the shoulder area. He was taken to the hospital in serious condition. No word on the suspect or what led up to the incident. We're going to have more on this, as well as some witness sound coming up on later editions of Hawaii News Now.
A 15-year-old Hawaii Island teen has been arrested in connection with online threats towards schools in Hilo and Puna. Police say they were alerted to various posts on social media Wednesday relating to members of a notorious gang being on the island and were potentially planning to go to a school in Hilo on Thursday. Police said there were no direct threats reported. However, the post prompted many concerned parents to contact police. Police were on hand to arrest the student when he arrived on campus Thursday. His name has not yet been publicly released. A former Hawaii resident has also been sentenced to nearly 6 years in prison for threatening to bomb buildings in multiple states. A federal jury convicted Brian Brandenburg of 7 counts for sending the threatening emails. In May 2022, Brandenburg was waiting for the outcome of a divorce proceeding in a Utah state court. He was living on Oahu at the time. After receiving the divorce decision, he sent an email to 2 judicial employees and others threatening to bomb the state courthouse. Throughout the day, he continued to send additional emails threatening to bomb multiple institutions. He will have 1 year of supervised release following his prison sentence. There was a shooting last night in the university area. It happened just before 8:15 near Kalo Place Mini Park. That's when police say a 29-year-old man was shot multiple times by a pair of suspects. EMS tells us he also suffered cuts to his head, sustaining serious injuries. He was rushed to the ER. Suspects are on the run, and HPD has opened an attempted murder case. Out in Windward, Oahu, HPD is investigating another attempted murder, this time in Waimanalo. 43-year-old man told police another man shot him with a shotgun last Thursday around 1 p.m. An investigation is ongoing, but police have not made an arrest at last check. A 64-year-old man is in custody after police say he tried to kidnap 2 young children. This happened in the Makakilo area yesterday morning around 7 a.m. Police say he attempted to get a 10-year-old boy and a 9-year-old girl to get into his van before driving away. He was arrested a few hours later. And new today, an Army service member based in Hawaii has been arrested for his role in the January 6th riot on the U.S. Capitol. 31-year-old Alexander Poplin was taken into custody yesterday at Schofield Barracks. He's accused of striking a Metro police officer with a flagpole repeatedly. He now faces multiple charges, including assaulting law enforcement, resisting arrest, and impeding officers with a dangerous weapon. Over 1,500 people have now been charged in connection with the events of that day. Both leading presidential candidates took a day off yesterday from campaigning to honor 9/11, but today they were back on the campaign trail in those battleground states. CBS's Skylar Henry has more from the White House.
Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are rallying voters in battleground states after meeting on the debate stage earlier this week. The Harris camp is calling this a more aggressive phase of the campaign, with Harris making multiple stops and ramping up spending on digital and broadcast ads. The vice president is in North Carolina, her second visit to the state since becoming the Democratic nominee.
Freedom to make decisions about one's own body should not be made by the government.
And she released a new ad highlighting the back and forth on abortion from Tuesday's debate. Trump is kicking off a West Coast swing in Tucson, Arizona, where his camp is focused on housing prices and the economy. It's his first post-debate campaign stop.
We won the debate according to every poll, every single poll.
Trump is also leaning into one of the more talked about debate moments, where he repeated baseless claims about migrants eating cats and dogs. He put out this AI-generated picture of kittens holding a Vote for Trump sign. He continues to hammer his signature issue, immigration, and is expecting a packed house at the Linda Ronstadt Theater in Tucson. Tucson native Ronstadt used the occasion to post on social media that she's voting for Kamala Harris. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
On Maui, 4 people were hurt after a commercial catamaran ran aground off Ka'anapali. It happened Tuesday night when the boat was carrying 53 people. 2 of the 4 injured needed to be taken to the hospital. DLNR says the vessel has been removed, adding that hazardous materials did not enter the water. Emotional testimony in the trial of a Maui man accused of beating a baby boy 3 years ago. 30-year-old Christian Rosetti faces life in prison with no chance of parole for the alleged abuse. Chelsea Davis has more.
The jury heard testimony from 2 witnesses today, a Maui Police Department detective and the stepmother of Passion Quirk. Passion is the mother of the child who was brought into the emergency room with life-threatening injuries 3 years ago. Doctors testified that the 11-month-old had bruises on his face, bite marks on his arm, burn marks, a fractured wrist, bleeding in both eyes, a retinal detachment, bleeding in his brain, and was extremely malnourished. Both sides agree what happened to the baby was horrific. Prosecutors are trying to prove Christian Rosetti is the abuser, while the defense says it's the child's mother, Passion Quirk.
And when I went in the room and I picked up my grandson, who was previously so strong, like he had, from like 1 month old, he was holding his head up. I felt like I was holding a noodle baby. He was just limp.
You expressed concerns about Passion caring for a baby to Child Welfare Services, Child Protective Services in May of 2020.
I don't recall.
Quirk claimed she was also abused by Rosetti and was too afraid to report the injuries to her child. She was also charged with attempted murder but accepted a deal with prosecutors and pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of assault earlier this year in exchange for her testimony against Rosetti. She is expected to take the stand sometime this week. Reporting in Wailuku tonight, I'm Chelsea Davis for Hawaii News Now.
State Attorney General Ann Lopez will present her findings from the Maui Wildfire Phase 2 report tomorrow. We're told it will include analysis of the state and county's response to the disaster, such as communications, incident management, fire suppression, and evacuation efforts. A separate report on the cause of the fire from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives has yet to be released. Meanwhile, wildfire debris has now been cleared from all residential properties in the Lahaina burn zone. It comes months ahead of the original January 2025 deadline. Rebuilding has also begun on 20 of the 1,390 properties cleared. Work is still ongoing to clear debris at 68 commercial properties in Lahaina. And raging wildfires continue to ravage the West Coast. Nearly 6,000 first responders are struggling to control 16 active fires in California. The man accused of starting the line fire has been arrested. That blaze has scorched at least 36,000 acres so far. Ben Tracy has the latest.
The bridge fire is burning out of control and is now California's largest active wildfire. Between Tuesday and Wednesday night, it exploded from 4,000 acres to nearly 50,000.
Our priority remains the protection of life and structure and infrastructure defense.
It's one of 3 big blazes firefighters are battling near Los Angeles. This woman was rescued escaping the flames with little more than the clothes on her back. From the ground and the air, teams are fighting to control the airport fire, which is now just 5% contained.
Here at the airport fire, firefighting helicopters are using this nearby lake to quickly fill up and then dump that on the flames.
Those flames have devoured more than 23,000 acres. Federico Salinas' home was right in its path.
This was covered in vegetation. Now it's all pretty much ashes and sand.
His home was narrowly spared, including his animals.
I was like, if they don't die of fire, they're going to die of all the smoke inhalation, you know. So I thought I was going to come and pick up their bodies and stuff, but turned out they're okay.
Now, both of these fires are still under investigation, and it is turning out to be a very active wildfire season with 4 times as many acres burned compared to all of last year, and the height of wildfire season is just getting started. Ben Tracy, CBS News, Lake Elsinore, California.
The state health department has launched a survey to determine the origins of a norovirus outbreak on Kauai. Anyone who hiked the Kalalau Trail since the beginning of July is asked to fill out the survey, even those who did not fall ill. Nearly 40 hikers were sickened with the gastrointestinal virus. Comfort stations along the trail are still being cleaned and disinfected. Haena State Park and Ke'e Beach remain open. Head to our website for a link to the survey. There's a new way for Kauai residents to stay up to date. One of the first fully artificial intelligence newscasts in the nation is airing from the Garden Isle. As Ben Gutierrez reports, it's raising a lot of questions about the future of AI and journalism.
TGI Today from the Garden Island newspaper looks like any other news program on a social media website or a news website. However, look and listen closely, and there's a big difference.
Welcome to TGI Today, Kauai Island's only live newscast powered by AI.
The videos debuted 2 weeks ago on the Garden Island newspaper website and YouTube channel.
We'll be bringing you the latest stories and in-depth features with lively dialogues and fresh perspectives.
And all of this is made possible by our use of advanced AI technologies.
The 2 presenters on screen are not real. They are AI-generated avatars powered by a company in Israel that approached newspaper owner Oahu Publications, Inc.
We're, to my knowledge, one of the first publishing companies in the United States to actually execute a live news broadcast utilizing avatars solely, and that's exciting.
Oahu Publications says the content in the newscast is still coming from the paper's real reporters.
They showed us their technology and their platform and how to have the ability to take TGI content, which we consider relevant, credible, differentiated, and local, and then repackage that into a video experience.
The publisher says the newscast is aimed at a younger audience.
They're looking for quick-hitting snippets, like a broadcast, like news and advertising information on platforms such as X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
The AI-generated newscasts have come out twice a week, the latest one getting more than 1,000 views. While some viewers are in support, others are mocking the digital journalists.
There's this principle called the uncanny valley where something looks almost real or almost true, but it's not quite there, and it gives off this creepy feel, and that's what I see when I watch these broadcasts.
But using it to deliver something that people are looking for, not just for information, but something with veritas. That's a little weird.
Oahu Publications says the avatars aren't replacing any journalists, but tech experts say newscasts like this may become more widespread as the technology improves.
I think it will be a thing because when you look at smaller markets, of whether we like it or not, Kauai is definitely a smaller market, it becomes harder for a publisher to sort of produce and maintain. So we kind of understand that.
AI is here, and you can either embrace it or you can be scared of it. Quite frankly, I'm a little of both, but we're experimenting, we're learning.
All right, here's a live look at the airport in Atlanta. The temperature there, 73 degrees on this Aloha Thursday. We're going to have a check of your local weather and some more news after this quick break.
how's it on this Thursday? The weather remains very calm and fairly dry, but the trade winds are going to come back today. And as the trade winds fill in, we'll see a few more stray windward and Mauka showers, but still no big rainfall events are expected anytime soon. So relatively dry this morning, and in throughout the day we might see a stray shower, but because the winds will run a little on the slow side still today, we'll likely get some clouds building into the afternoon hours, and those cloud buildups might spawn a few showers around the mountains. Otherwise, should be a relatively dry day today. Again, you can't rule out a stray passing shower, but for the most part, it's going to be very sunny with high temperatures running into the upper 80s. Still a little bit humid too, but as those winds pick up speed, humidity levels will start to drop. The weekend's looking like it's going to be pretty nice. Now, as far as the surf, we still got some elevated waves on the east side, but that swell is going to get smaller. And South Shore should see a little pulse sometime tomorrow. So all in all, we got really favorable weather for the next several days. Trade winds will be picking up speed tomorrow, so humidity levels will start to be lower. We're going to feel more comfortable going into the weekend, and we're thinking there's a decent chance for a few more showers for windward areas sometime on Sunday.
In news across the nation, thousands of people are cleaning up in Louisiana after experiencing Hurricane Francine, which made landfall as a Category 2 storm. At one point, it was packing winds of up to 100 miles an hour, and it hit hard the city of New Orleans. NBC's Jay Gray has more.
The mess is scattered for miles here, Louisiana beginning to clean up. After a beating from Francine, the Category 2 hurricane with sustained winds of 100 miles an hour, pushing through the bayous and marshland along the coast. The center of the storm targeting New Orleans, dumping just under a foot of water on the city. The rain falling so fast, flood pumps can't keep up. Neighborhoods swallowed.
Oh, you can see right now that guy breaking that window.
During a live broadcast, local NBC affiliate WDSU focuses on a pickup truck stuck in the rising water.
It seems like one person is in that vehicle.
Miles Crawford, an ER nurse watching, rushes from his nearby home to save the driver.
I just didn't want him to go under or anything and get, I don't know if he's going to get swept away or if he knows how to swim or anything, so I just want to make sure that he was safe and brought him to shore.
Now, a day later, with most of the floodwaters receding, power is the biggest problem for tens of thousands in the strike zone. Crews working nonstop, though in some of the hardest hit areas, it could take days to restore snapped lines. Jay Gray, NBC News, New Orleans.
In today's news from the feeds, MTV celebrated 40 years of the Video Music Awards last night, and it was a big night for women. There was also a special appearance by Hawaii's own Sasha Colby, who introduced Chaperone, and Taylor Swift finished the night with top honors. Rachel Smith has a wrap-up of the big event.
For the third year in a row, Taylor Swift dominated the VMAs, winning Video of the Year for Fortnite. Just one night after endorsing Kamala Harris for president. She also gave a rare public mention of her romantic partner.
I would always just hear someone like cheering and woo, like from across the studio. That one person was my boyfriend Travis.
While Swift raked in the awards, this year's breakout stars provided eye-popping performances. Chaperone was giving fiery medieval vibes before winning Best New Artist and thanking the drag queens who inspire her while encouraging many of her fans.
And for all the queer kids in the Midwest watching right now, I see you, I understand you, because I'm one of you.
It was an out-of-this-world performance for Sabrina Carpenter, whose Espresso won Song of the Year. The show was filled with flashbacks from the last 40 years, including Eminem, channeling his bleach blonde Slim Shady era performance from 2000. And VMA host Megan Thee Stallion paying homage to Britney Spears' iconic number while wearing an albino python. Another big moment, Katy Perry's epic Big Energy medley performance. Her partner Orlando Bloom followed it up by presenting her with MTV's coveted Video Vanguard Award.
Do whatever it takes to stay true to yourself and true to your art.
And after a big night for women, some seasoned gentlemen closed out the night, including Lenny Kravitz and LL Cool J. The two biggest stars in music, Taylor Swift and Beyonce, had two very different nights. Swift took home 7 Moon Men, tying Beyonce's record for the most VMA wins ever at 30. Beyonce had 3 nominations and won none. That's after getting snubbed by the Country Music Association with 0 nominations for Cowboy Carter. I'm Rachel Smith for CBS News.
Some of Hawaii's top architects are working on some really important projects, building with canned food. The annual Canstruction Competition returns to Kahala Mall this weekend. Casey Lund has a preview.
Aloha from Kahala Mall. A pretty exciting time as thousands and thousands of canned food items are being delivered for the 19th annual Canstruction Competition happening here September 14th, the build anyway. Reed Mizue is with me from AIA, American Institute of Architects, Honolulu. Folks putting this on for the Hawaii Food Bank. Danny Schlag with us from the Food Bank. Tell me a little bit about what today's all about. This is a crucial step in all of this because all these orders have to be precise.
That's correct. So today, it's a Thursday. Saturday is the actual build day on the 14th. And so we've got all the cans, pallets of cans arriving here at Kahala Mall. And teams from the architecture, engineering, and construction industry are checking their orders to make sure they're all okay for their builds on Saturday.
And I imagine quite a bit of work went into this even prior to today, right?
Definitely. Months and months of prep and design work to make sure that the right can is selected to build their giant structures of full cans of food.
Why is this important to you guys?
Well, it's a design competition, number one.
Yeah.
So we've got architects and engineers and contractors who are very into competition with each other on a normal basis. But more so, it's a community service event for the Hawaii Food Bank.
Yeah, and how important it is that we support our neighbors. 1 in 3 families in Hawaii going through hunger, dealing with food insecurity. Danny Schlag, tell us what it's like just to see efforts like this from different organizations. We see it during the Food Drive Day, different fundraisers, but these professionals that I'm sure have busy schedules taking time out of their day to do this, pretty awesome, right?
It's incredible. Really, throughout the entire year, and especially with events like this, we're always blown away by the creativity and then just really the compassion of our community, always coming together to rise up when there's great need like there is right now. So it really means a lot.
And it's just something cool to walk around Kahala Mall and see. This is really impressive, and a lot of work goes into it. Let's put up the details, by the way, because the public is a big part of this when it comes to bragging rights for the Canstruction win. Tell us how this all works. Starts with the build on the 14th, right?
Yeah, so the build day is this Saturday at Kahala Mall. And then once those structures are all up, if you're at the mall, you can scan a QR code next to your favorite structure, make a donation, and then every dollar donated counts as a vote towards your favorite structure. And then afterwards, they pick the People's Choice Award, and they're awarded that.
And then really quickly, I just want to also mention, and maybe I'll ask Reed, there's something for the keiki after all this, right?
Correct. So on build day on Saturday the 14th, we'll have a keiki corner where you can bring down your kids and then we'll work with them just like the architects and engineers are doing. They can do as well and build with simple cans and just like Legos. Almost.
Maybe inspire the next generation of architects and engineers here.
Totally. We're all into to generating that STEM sort of education with the AIA Honolulu.
Yeah, win-win all around for everybody. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us today. Again, Canstruction, that build happening September 14th. We'll have all the details online at hawaiinewsnow.com. We'll send things back into the studio for now.
Thank you so much, Casey. Such cool inventions they make out of cans.
I know. I like seeing what they come up with.
Such talent there. Let's send you live outside through the eyes of our tower camera. It is a beautiful Aloha Thursday here, about 85 degrees, so it's another scorcher. Too hot for my standards, I think. Be sure to tune in to Investigates TV coming up right after this, right here on Hawaii News Now.
Aloha.